watching WAFF 48 News on your side with Liz Hurley, Margot Gray, and Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis. WAFF 48 News at 4 starts now.
Welcome into the streaming version of the WAFF 48 News at 4. I'm Margot Gray.
And I'm Liz Hurley. We start our coverage this afternoon in DeKalb County, where we are learning more about the two people who died in a murder-suicide overnight. WAFF 48 Savannah Sapp joins us live from the Grove Oak community where it happened. Savannah, you've heard from deputies who believe the two were mother and son.
Well, Liz, this happened late last night on County Road 50 in the Grove Oak community of DeKalb County. Now, Coroner Tom Wilson has identified the two victims of last night's murder-suicide as 84-year-old Beverly Vitale and 60-year-old Scott Vitale. Deputies say they were called here for a welfare check late last night. They made multiple attempts to make contact with the Vitales, but were unable to get a response. They then entered the home and found both of them dead from gunshot wounds. Investigators say after all evidence was gathered, they believe that Scott shot his mother before taking his own life. I've spoken to members of the community who say the Vitales mostly kept to themselves. Jamie Godwin owns a store less than half a mile from the home, and she says this was a shock to her small community.
This was something that just came out of nowhere. This was we didn't know that he was that dangerous, and you just never know who's living beside you or 3 doors down.
Well, Sheriff Nick Weldon said in a statement, though we may never understand the why of this senseless tragedy, it is important that everyone extends their thoughts and prayers to the family and friends of the Vitales. Reporting live in Grove Oak, Savannah Sapp, 48 on your side.
Now to Sheffield, where a shooting left one person dead there.
Sheffield Police got a call about a gunshot wound victim showing up to Helen Keller Hospital around 2:30 this morning. WAFF 48's Aria Pons is live in Sheffield. Aria, you've been in Sheffield all day trying to gather information. What have you learned?
What we know so far is that officers have said this shooting involved two people, the suspect who they now have in custody and the victim who sadly later died after being taken to the hospital. The shooting occurred at a club called the Underground, which officers say has probably been here for about 5 years now. Officers say that the man who died was in his mid to late 20s. The investigation is still ongoing, so they're still gathering information before they release too much more information, including his name. They have a suspect in custody and cannot say really right now if there were any other people involved as well. I talked with one woman who lives in the area. Tori Bailey says she woke up to officers banging on her door. She says officers found a bloody sneaker and sock in her front yard. Bailey is also a Colbert County commissioner, and she has an important message for the residents of the city.
I really wish that we would think twice about how we resolve our conflicts, our issues. I really wish that we could lower the rhetoric. We don't need this in our neighborhood. There are children living next door to me. So it concerns me that we have this level of violence in our community, in our neighborhood.
Officers are asking for your help. If anyone in the community knows what could have happened, or if you have a video camera set up in the 200 block of South Columbia Avenue, to please reach out to Sheffield PD. Reporting live in Sheffield, Aria Pons, 48 on your side.
Hey, happy Friday, everyone, and TGIF. We do have a cold front sweeping through the region as we speak now, and an amazing August weekend will be ahead. A big drop in temperatures, also in humidity levels. Let's go ahead and take a live look across Huntsville, where yes, temperatures still in the 90s for some places, but this will be a thing of the past as we head throughout the next 24 hours. There's where that frontal boundary is located as of now, and yes, it will take some time for that drier and also much cooler air to filter in, but dew points already dropping from west to east. We could see dew points as low as the 50s with overnight lows, upper 50s, low 60s by the time you wake up on Saturday morning. And again, we will see a repeat of this Saturday evening and into Sunday morning. Now note, those afternoons still going to be quite warm in the mid and upper 80s with lower humidity, though it should make all the difference. We'll give you a sneak peek at your next work and school school week and also talk about the Perseid meteor shower peaking over the weekend coming up.
Well, all new at 4, an airplane carrying over 62 passengers and crew crashed in Brazil, killing everyone on board. Airline officials say the plane took off earlier today from an airport near the Brazil-Paraguay border. The plane was reportedly bound for Sao Paulo Airport, just 6 hours west of Rio. However, during the trip, the plane crashed into a neighborhood just 2 hours north of its destination. Witnesses on the ground caught footage of the plane as it just came tumbling toward the ground. Right now, there's no word on what caused the crash, but of course, we'll update you when we learn more.
Now to a 48 News update. A Decatur ambulance is in need of repairs after a wreck earlier today. Decatur police tell us that a car and an ambulance collided earlier this morning near 6th Avenue. You can see that ambulance being towed away from the crash site. The driver of the ambulance was injured but is expected to be okay. Police say a patient was on board that ambulance at the time but was not injured. We're still waiting word on the condition of the other driver, but we will update you as soon as we learn more.
Well, a Madison County capital murder suspect is now out of the hospital and behind bars weeks after a deadly shooting. Deputies say Chauncey Smith was arrested last night and booked into the Madison County Jail. Smith is facing charges in connection to a deadly shooting near Spool Lane in Huntsville last month. Najee Wiggins was killed in that shooting. Investigators say after the shooting, Smith showed up at the hospital with a gunshot wound. He was treated for his injuries before his arrest. He's now being held without bond. A Coleman County grand jury indicted a man tied to a police chase that ended in a deadly crash. Michael Ivey is now facing reckless murder charges in connection to that crash. He's accused of leading police on a chase, eventually ending near Highway 31 in Coleman. That crash killed 77-year-old Ella Ray Dixon and critically injured her granddaughter.
Huntsville police are searching for the suspect tied to a shooting. Officers say they were called to an area near Wilshire Park Apartments on Blue Spring Road last night. One man was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Of course, we'll update you when we learn more.
A Rogersville business is doing repairs today after a car came crashing through the front entrance. Our news partners over at the Times Daily say a Honda drove straight into Peak Performance Physical Therapy right off of New Market, or I should say Market Square, yesterday. Here's a look at some of the damage. Thankfully, no one was injured.
Turning now to Morgan County, where we are hearing from Priceville Police about ways the department there is working to cut down on drug activity in the community. We caught up with Chief Jerry Holmes today. He says in the recent weeks, the department has confiscated nearly $1 million in illegal drugs and some $30,000 in cash. Chief Holmes says Priceville officers have undergone multiple training courses to help find hidden drugs and deal with drug-related cases. Chief Holmes adds that along I-65, it can encourage people to travel through that area with drugs.
65 has always been a major corridor for the transportation of illegal narcotics. It stretches from Mobile to north of Chicago, Illinois. So there's a lot of highway there, and that's a major thoroughfare for that activity.
Despite this, Chief Holmes says officers in Priceville are prepared to respond to drug-related cases while keeping the community safe.
Now to Decatur, where Mayor Tab Bowling has been found to have committed an ethics violation. Earlier this week, the commission ruled that Bowling violated the Ethics Act after hosting a private pickleball game at the Decatur Aquadome. The facility was reportedly closed to the public at the time. The commission ultimately referred the case on to the district attorney. Mayor Bowling responded to the violation through our news partners over at the Decatur Daily. He sent that quote to the Daily, seemingly agreeing with the commission's decision. The maximum penalty for this violation is a $6,000 fine.
We're covering your community in North Huntsville, where city leaders are taking the next steps to expand and connect several existing walking and biking trails.
And when it's all done, city leaders will call the trail system the North Huntsville Beltline. City leaders voted to hire an architecture firm to develop a master plan for it last night. WAFF 48's Daquan Lee joins us live in Huntsville. And Daquan, the project draws inspiration from another big city that saw success with its trails.
Margot, the project comes from the Atlanta Beltline, though the project here will obviously be much smaller. And the plan is to create pedestrian greenways that would start from downtown Huntsville and end right here at the campus of Alabama A&M. Now, the project wouldn't go through neighborhoods, rather it would take the scenic route. Leaders say the plan is to connect existing greenways in North Huntsville with trails in the core of downtown Huntsville, making it easier to walk and to bike to places. Councilmember Devin Keith says he also hopes the Beltline will open up new economic development opportunities. Preston Ferguson has lived in both Atlanta and Huntsville and knows just how much North Huntsville could use a greenway like this.
I think that it's long overdue. I want to see the city become more prosperous. We have a lot of good programs down here. I believe that our area on the north side of Huntsville in particular needs more care, needs more entertainment. It definitely needs more restaurants on this side of town. So any type of new development would be good for this part of town for sure.
Now, he's not the only North Huntsville resident that was excited for this project. If you tune in at 5 o'clock, you'll hear from another resident who has high hopes for this project. Reporting live in Huntsville, Daquan Lee, 48 on your side.
Thank you, Daquan. Staying in the Rocket City, new construction is coming to Mid-City. City leaders say multiple projects are on the way to the area, including plans for on-street parking and a new park. That park will include a wide sitting area and a pavilion. Construction is expected to begin within the next 2 weeks.
So when it comes to traveling, how does this sound? Getting from Huntsville to the Big Apple, flying direct. Apparently, airport officials and leaders are working to make that happen. According to Aviation Pros, the airport's board of directors applied for a $1 million grant to help establish nonstop air service to the New York City market. This would fall under a U.S. Department of Transportation grant to help airports fill in gaps in air service. We reached out to Huntsville International Airport officials for a comment and was told they can't comment on pending grant applications. Well, the Rocket City Trash Pandas are raising money for the Liz Hurley Patient Assistance Fund at the Huntsville Hospital Foundation.
Get a ticket, make a donation, throw on some pink, and come out to see me hopefully hit the box, they say, in tonight's first pitch. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Night. WAFF 48's Callie Neese is at Toyota Field, where I'm going to join her in just a few hours. Callie, donations for this fund to help women in need are being collected through ticket sales.
Yeah, earlier today I spoke with a nurse from Huntsville Hospital today, and she tells me that these donations will help with the fund. And the fund helps patients with everyday financial needs, with things like mortgages to treatment to even a toothache. These funds help patients every day. When a patient is diagnosed with breast cancer, they often have to take a lot of time off work, and that can make it hard to afford everyday needs. One patient told me she needed a filling, and the fund helped her pay for that. According to the Huntsville Hospital, breast cancer is the most costly cancer in physician and in hospital bills. And Patients Assistance Fund's goal is to make that a little easier for the patients. Tara Eslick, a breast health specialist, told me that she loves that she can help patients with this fund every day.
Really important to me because I see people who are used to working and providing for their family, and now they have new needs and new burdens placed on them, and they are having an additional stress in the financial form on them, in addition to trying to make sure that they beat breast cancer. So it's very important to me that we can lessen that burden in some way.
Coming up at 5, I spoke with a patient who actually received support from this fund. Reporting live in Madison, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
All right, thank you, Callie. So Tide Hoop standout Mark Sears is hoping to inspire the next generation in his hometown. Mark Sears visited Harlan Elementary School in Florence this afternoon. He made the trip to speak to students about his career while visiting 2 of his former teachers. Sears says he's trying to set the best example as a role model. He says he hopes to inspire students to grow up and succeed in whatever they choose to do.
You know, it feels good to be able to give back to the younger kids because, you know, I remember when I was a kid, I always looked up to somebody doing what I'm doing now. So, you know, it's great.
So Sears' senior season at the Capstone tips off on November 4th in Tuscaloosa.
Happening tomorrow, a Shoals community hosting a parade to welcome an injured teenager home. Last month, we told you all about Brendan Simbeck's road to recovery. He was accidentally shot in the face by a pellet gun. That pellet actually went all the way through the teenager's eye and into his brain. He was put on a ventilator until experts could go in and actually remove that pellet. Friends of the Simbeck family tell us the teenager made it back to the Shoals last night and is doing much better. A welcome home parade for Brendan will be held tomorrow night at the R.E. Thompson School in Tuscumbia, beginning at 6 p.m.
Before budgeting out your dinner plans this weekend, it's time for the latest reports from the Valley's Kitchen Cops coming up.
Plus, eyes to the sky. We have details on a celestial event coming to the Tennessee Valley. In fact, it's coming to the world. Next.
The Littleville Police Department is welcoming a brand new chief. Marcus Solomon took his oath of office yesterday. This comes after the department was left with just one full-time officer back in July. During that time, the department was left scrambling to fill in gaps, relying on Colbert County deputies for help. Solomon says he already has some great ideas for the area.
Sheffield Police are debuting a new tool to help keep suspects and inmates safer than ever. This device is called the WRAP. Police say it's an easier, safer alternative to traditional restraint chairs. Here's a photo of this new device. Our partners at the Times Daily say that with the old restraint chairs, if a person struggled, it could cause nerve damage. Officers say during initial testing, the subjects rolled over, even fell asleep after being restrained. Okay, you heard the noise, the tone, you know what that means. It is Friday and it's time for the Valley's Kitchen Cops report.
Okay, so this week is a short one. There are only 3 low scores across the entire Tennessee Valley. So let's start off with our lowest score coming out of Athens. It's at the Jiffy Foods on East Hobbs Street at Highway 31. It gets a 75 because there were no paper towels at the sinks. There were also foods without date marks, and then inspectors found 2-week-old salsa and moldy sour cream in the cooler.
The Texaco on 6th Avenue in Decatur had a 79 because of cracked food containers and residue on dishes. And Don Chico in Fort Payne had a cooler that was too warm and a warmer that was too cool. That impacts food temperatures big time, resulting in a score of 83. Remember, you can find the latest scores across the valley right now on WAFF.com and on the 48 News app.
All right, check this out. This weekend, keep your eyes to the sky. Experts say people across the valley can catch a glimpse of the annual Perseid meteor shower as it reaches its peak.
That's right. We're at the peak now. Astronomers say this weekend you could actually see up to 100 meteors an hour all across North Alabama. The meteor shower is expected to peak on Sunday night into Monday morning, but experts say stargazers can head out and catch several meteors traveling across the sky before and after the shower. A meteor shower oftentimes occurs when the Earth passes into the dust left behind from a comet. And when that happens, a trail of dust particles left behind enters Earth's atmosphere and then just burns up, showing a really bright flash across the sky. And that bright flash is a shooting star. If you have a really good camera and can catch a glimpse this weekend, snap a picture and send it to us.
I like the little science lesson behind that.
There you go.
Now, Chelsea, we're hearing that we will be able to get a good look at the meteor showers throughout the weekend. Any cloud cover or rain trying to screw up our plans?
Oh, not at all. And that's all thanks to the cold front that's currently moving through the Tennessee Valley. Expect clear skies and also cool and comfortable conditions out there for any of your viewing plans. And like Margot and Liz just mentioned, we could see anywhere from 75 to 100 meteors per hour. Let's go ahead and take graphics. I'll show you what exactly to expect. Now, the best viewing time is likely going to be from midnight to dawn because the moon will set right at midnight, and you want to get away from all kinds of bright lights or city lights that could interfere with your viewing opportunities. But other than that, hey, you should be a-okay. Live look at the shoals, not the weekend quite yet, but some of you already feeling that Friday feel because the cold front already swept through the valley. Here's the live look at the shoals. Clear skies, and skies will remain clear through the evening. Many of you commenting on my post saying, hey, I'm still sweating out there. Yes, temperatures still near 90 degrees across the Tennessee Valley, but dew points or humidity levels already dropping as we speak. Seeing low 60s across northwest Alabama, still some upper 60s, low 70s remaining for areas toward the southeast, but humidity levels will continue to drop through the rest of your evening as winds pull in much drier and cooler air. Now, winds will be breezy at times, picking up out of the north upwards of 15 and 20 miles per hour, but winds will likely settle down after sunset. Here's a look at how quickly those temperatures will fall as we head throughout the rest of your Friday. Likely after sunset, we're going to be in the low and mid 70s as early as 9 o'clock, and overnight lows, we have not seen this in quite some time. We're talking low and mid 60s, and when you combined dew points dropping all the way into the 50s, this is going to be refreshing. We're talking the lowest humidity levels we've seen in several months. Now, it still will be quite warm heading each afternoon with high temperatures in the mid and upper 80s. However, with the lower humidity levels in place, again, that's going to really make a difference on how it feels to your skin. Expect another cool evening Saturday and into Sunday morning. Overnight lows could potentially reach the upper 50s, low 60s, and we'll do it all over again with plenty of sunshine in store on Sunday and temperatures still staying well below normal. Enjoy this early taste of fall, this autumn-like feel, because we will be heating right back up heading into your next work and school week with high temperatures back in the 90s. And if you're looking for rainfall, we're going to have to watch after the middle of next week because we will be getting in more of a northwesterly flow pattern. What does that mean? Well, we're going to be tracking scattered clusters of showers and storms that could become strong to severe. Of course, we'll keep you updated right here.
Thank you, Chelsea. All I heard was cooler temperatures this weekend, so that is great. And clear sky too, so we'll be able to see the Perseids. By the way, trivia question.
Uh-oh.
You too, Chelsea. Do you know what famous song was written because of the Perseid meteor shower?
Yes. Well, I think I know the artist.
Yes.
You told me already and I forgot it.
Is it Bob Dylan?
John Denver.
Oh, never mind.
Rocky Mountain High.
You gonna sing it?
No, hey, I've already thrown a baseball out tonight. Don't ask me to sing. No. But go look at the lyrics because it's really kind of neat. It talks about fire in the sky. So kind of a neat little tie-in to Perseids. And on that note, Thank you for tuning in to the streaming version of WAFF 48 News at 4. Of course, stay up to date on our coverage. Check out Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, and YouTube.
And for the latest across the valley, be sure to check out WAFF.com and the 48 News app. And this is the final streaming of our 4 p.m. newscast. I've enjoyed this.
Me too.
And watching the Olympics. We've been
Yes.
here for you the entire time. We'll be back on air Monday afternoon. Be sure to tune in to WAFF 48 News at 5 coming up in just a few minutes.
And by the way, thank you. You're going to fill in at 5 and 6 for me today.
I'll be here so she can throw out the first pitch at the Trash Pandas game. Go check her out. She will not embarrass us or herself.
I hope not. I hope not. Fingers crossed from your mouth to God's ears. Okay. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you later on.